Graduates, parents, and loved ones, welcome. It's so nice after several years to finally be together in person and be able to celebrate an event like this. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Diogo Bolster, the current Department Chair of Civil and Environmental Engineering and Earth Sciences. For some of the students, they've known me since their first summer study abroad program when they visited Ireland, which is my home country. Went backpacking across the West Coast, hiking with my children, my parents, and my in-laws. It was a wonderful time. Most of the rest of the students got to know me in fall of junior year, so the first semester of in-person classes during the pandemic, where I had the privilege of teaching an enormous class, fluid dynamics, while wearing a mask. Due to social distancing rules and the size of that class, lectures were held in the Performing Arts Center, where normally they hold musicals and plays. It has a capacity of about 1,000 people. As you can imagine, it's an odd place for a college lecture. Well, I'm the professor who, to ease the tension on the first day of class, played Swan Lake and danced out on stage in a tutu. And then a few weeks later, after losing a bet to my 12-year-old son, gave a lecture dressed as a dinosaur. I know there are videos going around, and I'm told that at one stage my dinosaur photo was the online profile for the Students Group Me page. Parents, I'm not telling you these things so that you worry about your children being taught by a madman, but rather that I believe these tension breakers worked. They gave Brian the confidence to challenge me on ethics questions and fluids research. I learned a great deal about your children's passions. Nicole, tennis. I shared stories about Mexican food from Southern California that I miss with Marilyn. I learned about growing up as the daughter of a fallen 9/11 hero from Margaret. Or I learned about what life in Guatemala is like from Andrea. I can't wait to visit. And I even learned a lot about the discipline of fluid mechanics and how it relates to avalanches from Keegan and Olivia. My point is that despite all the weirdness and unusual experience, I still feel that I got to know a great many of you, in a wonderful way, and that really, really makes me happy that we have come together to celebrate. And what a momentous occasion it is that we're celebrating today. Graduation is such a joyous event, and every time it comes around, it makes me think back to my graduation, which is exactly 20 years ago. Thankfully, I didn't have to survive a global pandemic, but we too faced our challenges, including the fact that the engineering job market in Ireland was the worst that it had been in over a decade. But as is always the case, this lack of opportunity actually gave me other opportunities. And over the course of 2 years, I worked 4 different jobs. First in a pub, then as a researcher in a fluid dynamics lab, then a friend of mine and I started a company together, and finally I got a job as an engineer working for a large engineering consulting firm. Working in the bar was fun, but that was always only intended to support some post-graduation travel. The startup company crashed and burned, and I really did not enjoy working for that large engineering firm. However, that experience in the physics lab was amazing, and in many ways is what inspired me to pursue research in fluid mechanics. In fact, the professor whom I worked with is the person who convinced me that I should become a professor. Sadly, Russell died a few years ago, but today I honor him by not wearing my robes, but his academic robes, which his widow sent to me after his death. Anyway, today is not about me or how I got here. Today is about all of you. So why am I even mentioning my story? Well, if my little story can be so much fun to think about, I get excited when I think about all the potential amazing stories that are going to emerge from this room. And I can't wait to see what they will be 20 years down the line. Some of you, such as Samuel, Talia, Catherine, Capria, already have lucrative engineering jobs lined up. Some of you, like Grant and Patrick, I seems you decided you're not going to be engineers. You're going to follow a different career, and that's just fine. At least one of you, Tim, is going to go on to become a priest. Donnie, Jack, Isaiah, and Lauren, well, you guys can't get enough of ND, and you're staying for a master's. We look forward to having you. And others, such as Liz and Lauren, will pursue the same at other places. Ben and Mia, you really can't get enough of school, committing to PhDs, eh? And then some of you, and Brian, I'm looking at you, are probably trying to figure out some time to further master their Frisbee skills. And I say that with great love and respect in my heart. Remember, I took some time off before I got serious, and look where I am today. I don't have the time to list all of you, and I'll leave some of that to some of my other colleagues to talk about. But my point is that the future looks exciting. Through hard work and persistence, there are 64 stories that are starting from this same point today. And every one of them will be unique and different. The last few years have been rough in so many ways, and there are so many things in the world right now that may cause one to worry about what the future holds. But when I think of these 64 stories and imagine where they will go, I feel nothing but joy and optimism. Because if this is what the future holds, then the future is bright. So with that, let's get this ceremony started. Now I'd like to call on my colleague Andrew Kennedy for the Order of the Engineer.
Thank you, Diogo. And parents, I'd like to say I've taught almost every single student here, and this is the first time I've actually seen what they look like. I spent a semester a year ago looking at the upper half of their faces, and you look great. Thank you. Okay, so the Order of the Engineer. Useful hack. So the Order of the Engineer began over 100 years ago in Canada. And it was designed to install humility in engineers. I was told, and I did my undergraduate in Canada, that the original iron rings came from a destroyed bridge that fell down while it was being built, and they made the iron rings for them, for engineers to wear as a sign of humility, so that they could see things can go wrong if you're not careful. It since was exported to other places, and we now have it here. Now, there is an official ceremony, and this is the official ceremony. I'm not going to do it because it's 8 pages long of single-spaced text, and I've given you enough long, boring lectures, so we're going to stop that. So what we're going to do now is I'm going to give you one subject that you have not had in your engineering careers or earth sciences careers so far. And I would ask you to guess, but there's no way. The subject is engineering poetry. And the original, see, who guessed that? The original iron ring ceremony was written by a Nobel Prize winning writer, Rudyard Kipling, who really was friends with engineers, and he wrote the ceremony, and as part of it, there was a poem. And the poem tells the biblical story of Mary and Martha. And just as a reminder, Jesus visited Martha's house, and Martha's sister Mary sat at Jesus' feet listening to everything he said, and Martha was busy making sure everything went right. Martha got upset at Mary and said, "Why aren't you doing anything?" And Jesus rebuked her, saying she is doing the entire part. And this gave us the engineering poetry, which I will give you now. It's called The Sons of Martha. For sons, you can just read Children of Martha. The sons of Mary seldom bother, for they have inherited that good part. But the sons of Martha favor their mother of the careful soul and the troubled heart. So for Mary, sons of Mary, children of Mary, read what I will call the colleges of PlayStation. And every one of you has been in somewhere where you have been finishing a concrete project or a hydraulics homework or something, and the people in your dorm were busy doing other things. So, and because she lost her temper once, and because she was rude to the Lord her guests, her sons must wait upon Mary's sons, world without end, reprieve, or rest. So essentially it says that Martha's children, that would be you, are destined to spend your lives waiting on those who are in the colleges of PlayStation. I apologize, but we should have told you that earlier. But it is in their care, in all the ages to take the buffet and cushion the shock. It is their care the gear engages. It is their care that the switch is locked. It is their care that the wheels run truly. It is their care to embark and entrain. Tally, transport, and deliver duly the sons of Mary by land and main. So essentially what that says is that what you do is important. People will rely on it. People's lives rely on it. People will live or have troubles based on your work. So everything you do has a consequence. And there's more, but I'll just go to the last stanza. And the sons of Mary smile and are blessed. They know the angels are on their side. They know in them is the grace confessed, and for them are the mercies multiplied. They sit at the feet, they hear the word, they see how truly the promise runs. They have cast the burden upon the Lord, and the Lord, he lays it on Martha's sons. So, congratulations, you are going to run the world. You may not get all the credit, but if something works, it will be because of you. And I'm certain that you can do it. Okay, we'll now move on to the ring ceremony. You should have a ring in your packet. I really hope you do. You can please take it out. And place it on the little finger of your working hand. If you're right-handed, it's your right hand, left-handed, it's your left hand. And this ring is very good for tapping on things, but when you wear it, you'll remember that people are depending on you, and whether you do the right thing or the wrong thing will make a difference. So our final act will be to read the Order of the Engineer, which is in your programs on the some page. At the bottom, third page. We'll try to read it together and see how that goes. We're ready? Okay. I am an engineer. In my profession, I take deep pride. To it, I owe solemn obligations. As an engineer, I pledge to practice integrity and fair dealing, tolerance and respect, and to uphold devotion to the standards and dignity of my profession, conscious always that my skill carries with it the obligation to serve humanity by making the best use of Earth's precious wealth. As an engineer, I shall participate in none but honest enterprises. When needed, my skill and knowledge shall be given without reservation for the public good. In the performance of duty and in fidelity to my profession, I shall give my utmost. Thank you, everyone, and congratulations.
Thank you, Andrew. Next, we're going to have some faculty remarks from David Richter, who was chosen by the students to give these remarks.
Mine is 8 pages, single space, so buckle up. All right, class of 2022. Along with all your family and friends, I have to say that I'm awfully disappointed in you. I mean, what could it possibly say about your collective judgment when you choose your professor of computational methods of all things to speak at your own commencement? But do your parents even know what that means? I mean, have you told them? I mean, I asked you guys to tell them about our adventures through the jungles of differential equations, right? In the enchanted forests of linear algebra. So apparently I have to remind you that this is a class that garnered such reactions as, and these are actual quotes, the homework was horrendous. He thinks the content is easy. However, this was the hardest class I've ever taken, and it wasn't fair. This has been the worst class I've ever taken at Notre Dame. I'm still not totally convinced I understand why Newton-Raphson is so amazing. And Professor Richter's enthusiasm for the course can sometimes lead to prolonged tangents that are not entirely related to the course. And I can only agree with that. So despite these, it's an absolute honor to be up here and to represent the faculty of the CEEES department. And I'm blown away and actually quite nervous to be up here. I know I speak for my colleagues, many of whom are here, when I say that we're so proud of each of you and all the hard work that you put into your academic career, particularly given how unorthodox it was, And as several have noted, it's odd to see you guys without faces. I hope you're or without masks. Without masks. Thanks, Diogo. With faces is what I meant to say. I hope you and your families and friends recognize what you've built through all sorts of things, through classes, COVID disruptions, ROTC training, dorm masses, spit tests, bands, sports, grad school preparation, the routine theft of here signage, clubs, student organizations, and who knows however many other extracurriculars. We've got in this room a boxer, a student, or a cross-country skier, someone who's entering the seminary, as we've already heard, someone whose name I randomly saw in the local paper defending a golf title. I didn't know you played golf. And even someone from the great city of Omaha. Yeah, I was hoping to get, yes. I sincerely thank you for this opportunity and offer my congratulations to you and all your friends who've come to support, friends and family who've come to support you. So it's not easy thinking through what I could possibly say, given the intellect and the character present, not only among you students, but also my faculty colleagues and friends and family as well. In fact, in a lot of ways, I'm just kind of hoping that my kids someday turn out to be as solid people as you guys are. So I figure, instead of actually preparing something, I'll do what I do best and just subject you and your families to a series of prolonged and unrelated tangents. So, tangent number 1. Please continue to discipline yourself in every aspect, every single day. Things like time management skills, humility, and self-control, these things will benefit you in so many ways beyond what you can imagine. They require practice, and I hope you've picked some up along the way. It may come as a surprise to you, or perhaps not, that I don't actually consider myself all that smart. I mean, you've talked to Diogo and Ashley. They are smart. They are brilliant. But no matter what you think I've achieved, I can simply consider it a product of hard work, time management, the support of loved ones, and most of all, God's grace. As your life gets busier and more complicated, and trust me, it gets a lot busier and a lot more complicated, you need powerful weapons to be able to combat fears, anxieties, overburdens, confusion, and all the things that life will throw at you. Speaking of which, how many stencil points do you need to approximate the second derivative to third order accuracy using a 4 different scheme? Come on. All right. I was kind of hoping someone would yell out the wrong answer. Parents, you should be ashamed. Students, you need to understand that these things are only a small fraction of the total formation that you've received. Not that you seem to remember them anyways. So that's certainly not to say that they're not important, right? They are important, but what's to stop someone from starting a university, which just simply teaches people everything the things that we all remember, right? Just the things that we remember. It's stripping away everything else. I think most people, especially you guys as you graduate, would benefit from really thinking through how you've been formed, what truly gives you your worth and your value, rather than simply counting numbers and numbers like your GPA or your accomplishments. Some of the best formation that you've had occurred outside the classroom, and yet this is actually what gives life and foundation to the very coursework that you might have found boring. An engineering degree does not make a stupid person smart. All right? Of course, I don't mean to say that you're stupid. I just mean to say that the degree that you're receiving today is a heck of a lot more than a certificate saying that you know lots of things. It's a recognition of the hard work and the self-sacrifice that you poured into the coursework, and your degree at the very core of it is an outward sign of the kinds of things that you can achieve when you actually fully commit to taking something on. I think I speak for all of us in the room. I think Diogo said this a minute ago when I say that I'm terribly excited to see where this hard work and dedication takes each and every single one of you. All right, I've numbered my tangents, but I've gotten off on tangents, so I don't know what number I'm on anymore. So, number 4, according to this numbering, please don't give in to self-doubt. Please don't give in to self-doubt. So this actually comes from a lot of personal experience, and it's something I know that many of you have faced or will face. There's that little voice that says you're not as good as everyone around you, or that you'll never achieve this or that, or your efforts are just never enough, or that everyone else but you has it figured out. This is absolute nonsense. Even if that voice never stops saying these things, no one actually has it figured out, except for maybe Alex Taflanidis or Aaron Ludwig. And beneath every person who looks like they've got it all together is simply another person trying to make their way through life. You'll encounter things you're not good at, and you'll fail. That's a good sign. That means you're challenging yourself, and you should use them to grow. More broadly, I cannot state this emphatically enough. God is real. God is real. He loves you intensely, and he's calling you to a life of holiness. Put him first in everything that you do. One of the most beautiful things I noticed when I interviewed on this campus is that there's a crucifix in every single classroom, right? In this room, right? There's one there and one over there. What a fantastic reminder of the lengths that he will go to for each and every single one of us. Even if you were the only person in the world, Jesus would die for you again, no matter what you've done, or who you are, or whether or not you remember how many stencil points are needed for a second derivative approximation. There's an amazing thing that you've gained by coming to this particular university, distinct from all other top-level universities in the entire world. The presence of the Catholic faith, a faith that I insist can and should be applied to every aspect of your spiritual, academic, professional, and personal lives. The presence of this faith permeating throughout this campus that you've been a part of the last 4 years will hopefully serve as a reminder that you have a very powerful weapon at your disposal at all times. Neural networks. So most problems that you'll encounter in life, whether they be technical challenges, interpersonal struggles, ethical dilemmas, can just be solved with AI, right? This is the age of AI. You just build a gigantic, ugly, or impressive looking, depending on how you look at it, neural network and just ask it for the answers. No, of course not. Right? The actual secret weapon that you have is prayer. In every single crossroads of your life, in moments of joy, gratitude, confusion, despair, turn to God and he will answer you. This has not been an easy few years. My family has personally had some challenges lately. Prayer is the only backstop. It's the only thing that's actually going to mean something in the long run. And it's worth training yourself to talk to God through good times and in bad. So if there's nothing else you remember from me, remember this. Your life is not about you. Your life is not about you. Let me repeat. Your life is not about you. Please remember that. The peace that you experience in your life and in your career will be proportional to how much of yourself that you give out. Your hard work and effort through the last 4 years have equipped you with all sorts of technical knowledge, but a lot of self-sacrifice. As a result, you're in a prime position to serve your neighbor. This is what engineers are called to do. This is what the order of the engineer is about. St. John of the Cross said, where there is no love, put love, and there will be love. Exactly 16 years ago, I'm younger than Diogo, I sat in an auditorium like this, receiving my degree at the University of Massachusetts with a healthy degree of anxiety about what the future held. As luck would have it, I got to sit right in front of the wonderful girl who in 2 weeks from that weekend would become my wife. We got married, we went on a honeymoon, we hopped in a U-Haul to drive from Connecticut, where she was born and raised, to California, where we'd begin our life. This is a place neither of us had ever been and where we knew nobody. It took an incredible amount of trust on her part to follow me out there so I could start graduate school. And we both had to rely on the guidance of prayer to make sure that we were making the right decision. Now, don't get me wrong. Asking for guidance on where you should go does not mean that it'll be easy. And grad school is hard. The various careers that you guys are going into, those are hard. Living away from family is hard, especially when we started to have children of our own. And it's not always clear which direction of the road to take. But St. John Henry Newman said, do what you can do reasonably and just leave the rest up to God. And while sometimes it's not clear which road to take, other times prayer can result in neon signs. I think I shared with some of you before, but after California, my family and I moved to Colorado so I could conduct postdoctoral research. I had no idea what I wanted to do at this point and was having near daily existential crises. I nearly quit my 2-year position halfway through and ultimately decided to stick it out. But like before, I tried my hardest to ask God what he wanted, where he wanted us to be, and for a while there was just silence. Then, suddenly, a position at Notre Dame opened up in exactly the type of work I was hoping to pursue. I was 3 days away from accepting another job in upstate New York when I was invited for an interview. Actually, it was a phone call from Diogo here. When I got home from interviewing, my wife took one look at my face and said, "Oh, we're going there, aren't we?" I can't say how it's going to happen for you, but I can promise that you can trust and you will be rewarded for having faith. I'm even willing to lay money that in 5 years, the majority of you are going to be doing something totally different than what you would tell me right now that you're going to be doing in 5 years. That's wonderful. That's absolutely wonderful. Right? With so much reason for anxiety in the world, I sincerely hope that you can find that slice of peace, the still waters of Psalm 23, the hope and conviction that you, equipped with this engineering degree, can be truly a powerful force for good in the world. Is it enough to just be a good person? Is it enough to just be a good engineer? No, go and be saints in the world. Go and be saints who understand structural dynamics and environmental transport. Imagine what the world would look like if every single one of you went out there and became saints in the world, serving everyone around you and benefiting society in ways that we can't even imagine. Don't confuse humility with mediocrity. So finally, along with your degrees, you take away from this university something that blew me away when I first joined the campus. The Notre Dame family is something that's very real and very unique. As far as I know, there is no such thing as a UMass family out there, but perhaps I haven't yet been invited. The peers sitting beside you now have hopefully carved out a spot in your hearts and memories, because you certainly have in ours. Keep in touch with each other, and please come back to visit us from time to time. It's been an immense privilege getting to know you and interact with each of you. I thank you, the students, for allowing us, the faculty, to teach and get to know you. I thank you, family and friends, for supporting these young men and women, not only throughout the last 4 years, but throughout their entire lives leading up to this point, and giving us, the faculty, the chance to know and teach them. Without this support, none of it would have been possible at all. Okay, class of 2022, let me wrap up this tangents, or commencement speech. Continue to love and pour dedication into everything that you do in life. Never stop developing a deeper and deeper love, right? And this is a powerful word, love. A love of wastewater, a love of concrete, a love of wisdom, a love of beauty, a love of truth, but most of all, a love of neighbor and a love of God. And remember to use these things that you've gained here at Notre Dame, skills, friends, and knowledge, to serve those around you. We love you. We wish you the best in your future endeavors. Thank you. God bless all of you, and good luck.
Parents, I think you can see why they picked David. So next we're going to do presentations of awards. Historical experience tells me that if I ask the awardees to come up here and wander and this and that, there'll be a lot of tripping, big disaster, and awkward waiting. So instead, what I'm going to do is I'm going to read out the names of people who are getting the awards. I would ask that they stand up, right, and then we clap for them. And then at the end of the ceremony, if you've received an award, we have them up here, and I'll gladly give them to you then. Okay? So Connor Milligan and Meredith Lochhead. They have been awarded the ASC Activity Award for participating in the services and activities of the American Society of Civil Engineers. Meredith, you can stay standing. Capria. So Meredith Lochhead and Capria Nordquist have received the Steiner Award for the top senior students based on their involvement in the department and overall performance for the College of Engineering. I didn't tell you to sit down. You've got another one coming. Meredith, please stand up. So the Gibran Kareem Research Award, also going to Meredith, to a senior civil engineering student who has demonstrated outstanding scholarship throughout their undergraduate research. Capria Nordquist and Connor Milligan. You guys look surprised. You didn't see that your names are in here? The Walter S. Schultz Award for Undergraduate Achievement, for best fulfilling their potential through hard work and dedication to obtaining the best possible education. Grace Castle and Dominique Woodred. The Leroy D. Graves Academic Improvement Award for significant development in academic performance. Megan Kolpinski, Lauren Walker. The Sidney Kelsey Outstanding Scholar Award for excellence and creativity in academics. Jacob Novich and Meredith, again. The James A. McCarthy Scholarship, awarded during the junior year for outstanding academic and professional excellence. John Millett and Olivia Burke. The Joseph Bud Ahern Leadership Award, to the graduating civil or environmental engineering seniors who have demonstrated the leadership qualities that Bud embodied: humility and respect for others. In Bud's word, great leaders love to build and to belong to a potent human force so significant that they can make their purpose happen. Sorry, Meredith. The Kenneth R. Lauer Award for leadership, integrity, and service to fellow students and the community as determined by his or her classmates. Jacob Lewis. The Dr. Raymond C. Gutschik Award for demonstrating the most promise in environmental engineering or earth science research as evidenced by a successful undergraduate research project. Timothy Purnell and Andrea Prado Iriarte. The Reverend Alexander Kirsch CSC Award for high qualities of personal character, scholarship, and leadership. So as I said, at the end of the ceremony, if you come up here, we'll actually give you the awards and certificates. You'll be carrying a suitcase home. Okay, and that now brings us to student remarks, again chosen by the students. Tim, if you'd like to come up here.
All right. Well, I feel incredibly well set up by everyone who has spoken so far, because there'll be poetry in here, there'll be theological life advice in here. Anyway, so it's also so good to see all the families here. This is such a joyful time, and I'm very glad to be celebrating with you guys, and congratulations, guys. So since we've only recently finished our college careers, I will try to keep these remarks in a format that you are well familiar with from our class time together. We're going to be all over the place. We're going to talk about things that you are certain have no relevance for the topic at hand. But by the end, I hope that you feel like I felt in those lectures, that you either now see why everything was related, or you can at least understand why, in my strange and convoluted brain, I thought everything was related. So I have been thinking about things recently as graduation has approached, as I'm sure you also have been. Some things like back to, what grad school are we going to apply to? What city am I going to look for jobs in? And then, more recently, like, does this last final, really matter? Because there's no chance I flunk at this point, so, And then much more recently, when in the world will I find time to pack? It's just, way too busy. And those are real questions, the kind of real questions that we have dealt with day and night for the last 4 years. But on top of those, then there are the real questions. And, I think Professor Richter spoke well about these. What is life about to be like after leaving this place? What is my job going to be like? Or my grad program? What will I do without all my best friends to share life with? Will they forget me? Will we keep in touch like we promised, or will they move on? Will I find someone who loves me? Will I be a good parent? For those of us who are going to be engineers or scientists after this, how is that engineering or that science going to add a depth, meaning, and purpose to my life? Well, to begin an answer, which I think each of us will have to finish in our own ways, I want to share with you a passage that has been instrumental for my time in college. Now, I'm Catholic, and I'm actually a convert to Catholicism, so I'm sure that I see the world very differently from some of you. But nonetheless, I think there's a universal beauty and truth to this passage I'll share, and it's probably my favorite of all the psalms, poems, and songs that the Catholic Church uses in her liturgy. It comes from Daniel, the prophet, who had a tough lot himself. He was taken away in the Babylonian captivity with all the other young, bright minds of the Israelites. And so he endured a lot of hardship, but he and his friends sang this canticle. And it starts like this. Bless the Lord, all you works of the Lord. Praise and exalt him above all forever. All you angels, bless the Lord. You heavens, bless the Lord. All you waters above the heavens, bless the Lord. And then it takes you through this beautiful tour of the cosmos that God has created. The angels, the sun, moon, and stars, bless the Lord. Mountains, rivers, streams, bless the Lord. Birds of the air. And here I quote verbatim the line that always puts a smile on my face. You dolphins and all water creatures, bless the Lord. Praise and exalt him above all forever. And finally, it comes back to humankind. O Israel, bless the Lord. Priests of the Lord, bless the Lord. Servants of the Lord, bless the Lord. Spirits and souls of the just, bless the Lord. Praise and exalt him above all forever. Blessed are you, Lord, in the firmament of heaven, praiseworthy and glorious and exalted above all forever. And I know why you're wondering why dolphins have made an appearance in the commencement ceremony for the Civil, Environmental, and Earth Sciences Department, but I think it ties in. The point of this poem is to teach us through very concrete aspects of the creation that the world is good and that the created order exists to draw us back to our loving God, and that we humans play a special role in bringing the world back to God. We command and invite the world. You angels, bless the Lord. Streams and rivers, bless the Lord. And through this poem, we learn a little bit about what it means to be a mediator between the created world and God. Using all the created things properly and helping even the hills and the valleys, the streams and the rivers to participate in this act of worship of our Creator. We learn what it means to be stewards. And I hope that stewardship is not a new concept to anyone here. We have been abundantly blessed and supported by the friends and family here, the friends on campus who we celebrated with this morning, and so many other blessings that God has sent us. And we're called to steward those things well and to strike out in the world and do good with the things that we have been given. And I find this concept of stewardship similar to the ethical questions that we would always touch on near the beginnings of our classes. Like, is it okay for me to send this off for construction? Am I qualified to advise on this type of design? And so on. But I think these questions of stewardship are different. The ethics questions don't exist until you're designing something. And so another question has to come first before the typical ethics questions. Why should I design a bridge? Should there be highways? Why should there be highways? Brian says no. Brian says no highways. Why should we facilitate wastewater treatment for this city? And I bet you can tell that I'm getting back to some even broader questions. Why do anything? What are we here for? But in the end, I think those questions are always a good place to bring it back to. And to answer those questions, I don't think I can say it any better than the Baltimore Catechism. The question is, what is the meaning of life? The answer, to know, love, and serve God in this life, and to be happy with him forever in the next. So we've got our poem from Daniel. We've got our meaning of life. Then here is the next question. Does it make any sense for me to say, you bridges, bless the Lord. Sidewalks and highways, bless the Lord. Wastewater treatment plant, bless the Lord. Praise and exalt him above all forever. Does it make any sense? I think it does. God is good and true and beautiful. And whether we are people of faith or not, anything that we love in life, we love because of its goodness, its truth, and its beauty. We've certainly seen some civil engineering related examples of beautiful structures, for example, or beautiful environments worth preserving. There's great goodness in promoting health and connecting people through infrastructure. I think NDC does an excellent example of that, building literal bridges in small communities abroad that otherwise would be much less connected. And in engineering industry, I'm sure we will find many instances where we can choose to uphold truth or not. We can uphold the truth that the world is good and worth preserving, for example, or we can fail to do that. And as we strive for things of goodness and truth and beauty, we glorify our Creator, who is good and true and beautiful. But actually, I don't think I'll glorify God and serve my neighbor best by being a civil engineer. So I'm not going to be one. And if the same is the case for you, then you shouldn't be one. I know for many of you, that is where God is calling you, and you're going to make fantastic civil engineers and environmental engineers and earth scientists. And hopefully, all the jokes that we made to each other about avoiding the new infrastructure in the cities where where our friends are going to work, are just jokes in the end, hopefully. And I am deeply grateful for the education that I've received here, the diligence I've learned, and the intellectual curiosity that I've seen in my peers and professors. I know they will serve me well, and time was not at all lost by any means, even though I'm not pursuing engineering. Because this education has helped me to understand better what it's all about. And for many of you, your work in civil, environmental engineering, and earth sciences, or whatever industry you will work in, will also be your means of glorifying God and serving your neighbor. And praise the Lord for that. It is very good that we got to be a part of each other's 4 years as you all have striven towards that goal. So after school, I'm gonna go my way, and that will likely be more to the tune of, you angels, bless the Lord, streams and rivers, bless the Lord, spirits and souls of the just, bless the Lord. But for you who are doing something that, relates to all of our studies from the last 4 years, go out there and make us proud. Me, your other peers, our amazing faculty and staff up here, our parents and families, certainly, and our loving God. And I hope that when I drive by something I know you've made, that my heart can truly say, all you bridges, bless the Lord. Sidewalks and highways, bless the Lord. Even you wastewater treatment plants, bless the Lord. Praise and exalt him above all forever.
Thank you, Tim. Okay, so next we are going to present the diplomas. Alex, could you come up? So as you can probably all see, if students start standing, they'll block views. Most parents are here because they want to see their children as they're going across stage. So please only stand up when Alex tells you to go. Pretend it's, it's like communion at Mass. Okay, so Amy.
Trevor Michael Allen, Bachelor of Science in Civil Engineering. Mariana Andrada, Bachelor of Science in Civil Engineering. Margaret Mary Atwood, Bachelor of Science in Civil Engineering. Nicole Elaine Becker, Bachelor of Science in Civil Engineering. Matthew William Borden, Bachelor of Science in Environmental Earth Sciences. Madison Ray Brooks, Bachelor of Science in Environmental Engineering. Olivia Ann Burke, Bachelor of Science in Environmental Engineering, cum laude. Carla Patricia Casillas, Bachelor of Science in Environmental Engineering. Grace A. Castle, Bachelor of Science in Environmental Engineering. Hannah Jane Collins, Bachelor of Science in Civil Engineering. Catherine Rose Comerford, Bachelor of Science in Environmental Engineering. Patrick Joseph Conklin, Bachelor of Science in Civil Engineering, cum laude. Kyle Stephen Copley, Bachelor of Science in Civil Engineering. Megan Lyden David, Bachelor of Science in Civil Engineering. Joshua Henry Crooker de Oliveira, Bachelor of Science in Environmental and Earth Sciences. Elizabeth Grace DePaula, Bachelor of Science in Civil Engineering. Brian Kernan Donahoe, Bachelor of Science in Civil Engineering. Erin Elizabeth Doyle, Bachelor of Science in Civil Engineering. Grace Catherine Fick, Bachelor of Science in Civil Engineering. Benjamin Lawrence Fitzgerald, Bachelor of Science in Civil Engineering, cum laude. Austin Flouty, Bachelor of Science in Civil Engineering. Catherine Lucinda Garrett, Bachelor of Science in Civil Engineering. Alexandra Regina Gomez, Bachelor of Science in Civil Engineering. Alexandra Guevara Stevens, Bachelor of Science in Civil Engineering. Talia Jolene Hard, Bachelor of Science in Civil Engineering, cum laude. Samuel Robert Jackmore, Bachelor of Science in Civil Engineering, cum laude. Eleanor Catherine Jawowski, Bachelor of Science in Civil Engineering. Diane Kim, Bachelor of Science in Civil Engineering. Lauren Elizabeth Kynes, Bachelor of Science in Civil Engineering, cum laude. Megan Catherine Kopinski, Bachelor of Science in Civil Engineering. Ariana Jean Latuda, Bachelor of Science in Environmental Engineering. Lauren Elizabeth Montero, Bachelor of Science in Civil Engineering. Meredith Tucker Lockhead, Bachelor of Science in Civil Engineering, summa cum laude. Erit Margaret Ludwig, Bachelor of Science in Environmental Engineering, cum laude. Caitlin Rose Lyons, Bachelor of Science in Civil Engineering. Dominique Rosa Madrid, Bachelor of Science in Civil Engineering. Dean Edward Maloney, Bachelor of Science in Civil Engineering. Shannon May, Bachelor of Science in Civil Engineering. Mila Anise Zadare Medic, Bachelor of Science in Environmental Earth Sciences. Connor Joseph Aldaz Milligan, Bachelor of Science in Civil Engineering, cum laude. Mary Catherine Maloney, Bachelor of Science in Civil Engineering. John Francis Mowat, Bachelor of Science in Civil Engineering. Isaiah Devin Merle Thomas, Bachelor of Science in Environmental Engineering. Capria Liana Nordquist, Bachelor of Science in Environmental Engineering, magna cum laude. Jacob Novich, Bachelor of Science in Environmental Engineering, summa cum laude. Matthew Riley O'Connor, Bachelor of Science in Civil Engineering. Kenneth P. Pendergast, Bachelor of Science in Civil Engineering, cum laude. Grant Xavier Traca, Bachelor of Science in Civil Engineering. Andrea Prado Iriarte, Bachelor of Science in Environmental Engineering. Timothy Ryan Purnell, Bachelor of Science in Civil Engineering, magna cum laude. Adam Christopher Recker, Bachelor of Science in Civil Engineering. Caitlin Marie Reed, Bachelor of Science in Environmental Engineering, cum laude. Daniel Cole Ringrose, Bachelor of Science in Civil Engineering, cum laude. Zachary William Safford, Bachelor of Science in Civil Engineering. Gregorio Sanz de Santa Maria, Bachelor of Science in Civil Engineering. Keegan John Siebenaller, Bachelor of Science in Environmental Engineering. Benjamin Zaklarek, Bachelor of Science in Civil Engineering. Anthony J. Thomas, Bachelor of Science in Civil Engineering. Sean Michael Trailer, Bachelor of Science in Civil Engineering. Lauren Margaret Walker, Bachelor of Science in Environmental Engineering, cum laude. Emily Morgan Yu, Bachelor of Science in Civil Engineering. Marilyn Sisumbo, Bachelor of Science in Environmental Engineering. Please join me in congratulating the 2022 class from the Department of Civil and Environmental Engineering and Earth Sciences.
That brings us to the end of our ceremony, but at least they did this for my graduation. Graduates, would you all stand up, turn around, and clap for your families? Thank you, everybody, for being here. If I will be sticking around for a while afterwards, if any of you would like to come and talk with me, and I'm certain that some of my colleagues would. It's always a time I really, really enjoy, getting to know the parents and the likes. But again, what a wonderful, wonderful occasion. It's been fantastic. And I'm enjoying this so much that let's just all have a giant clap. And we can finish with that. Thank you very much, class of 22. Please, please come back, visit often. Let us know what your stories are. I don't say that lightly. I truly, truly love meeting our former students and hearing where you guys have gone. Best of luck with absolutely everything.